This is what you're going to do in every single month of year 13 if you want to absolutely smash your A-level. I don't care how you did in year 12. If you do this, you will come out with top grades. Number one, acknowledge that year 12 summer is not over and you have things to do. You need to know what universities you are applying to. You need to have gone to open days. You need to have started your personal statement. And ideally, by September, have a pretty good draft in to show your teachers. You want to just be making those minor few tweaks in the first weeks of September, not starting the whole thing from scratch. Also, use the summer as an opportunity to catch up on anything you didn't understand in year 12. This might be a lot of stuff. Just make sure you're happy with everything because year 13 content will build on year 12 content, which is why people find it so difficult because they didn't actually understand what happened last year. September, what are you going to do? Again, be finalizing that UCAS application, thinking about applying to degree apprenticeships if you want to do that. Aiming to have any sort of admin stuff out of the way. Try to have finished your EPQ, or if you're starting it in year 13 like I did, at least getting a good chunk of the work done for it, because you don't want any sort of applications or interviews or EPQ stuff or coursework to coincide with your actual A-level exam period. September, October, November, real focus on revising last year's content and making revision resources for what you have just learned. You should have them from last year. Your mind maps, your flashcards, your study sets on Quizlet, Anki. A real focus on these in these months and locking in any end of topic tests that you have, you need to be revising for them like they're a real exam. You should be dedicating time outside of lessons and outside of homework to revision. I know you don't want to hear it, but it doesn't need to be 20 hours of revision a week. You don't need to have a revision timetable. Just having some time to go over something you're not currently going over in class goes a very long way if you are consistent with it. And again, anything you don't understand, staying on top of that. So I would have a rule. I would do a practice paper for every single subject every week. 2 hours, 4 subjects, 8 hours a week on top of my homework, on top of my extra, going over things I didn't understand in class. It's not that much. And then figuring out my weaker areas from these practice papers and then going over them. January, you'll probably have year 13 mock. Again, revise for them like the real exam. And I cannot emphasize the importance of this to understand how you revise for different subjects, what works for you, and then identifying your weakest topic. Then you need to keep up that momentum after your January exams with the revision. Start thinking about ramping it up. It's not necessarily about making revision resources anymore. It's about applying your knowledge. And you will probably be learning content until February half term or maybe Easter. Going over those things that you've not done in a while is incredibly important in these months in the run-up to your actual A-level. Applying to exam questions and understanding how marks are broken down, how do you hit all of those marks on the marks here, is incredibly important. And be sure to follow me if you want tips for how to revise in A-level exam season.